Welcome back to the fourth quarter, the final quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and we still, well, we're right on target. We've taken care of all of our good sponsors. We ask that you consider next time you're needing some of the service that they offer, that you go by and give them an opportunity to make a little money to continue the Bobby Dupre Show as a sponsor. We need you.
I'll tell you what, while we talked earlier about Piggly Wiggly, you know, you've got that nice little coffee machine that makes the individual cups. You can get community coffee now in the individual
Don't waste
cups.
that, because that's about 50 cents.
Come on.
But it works so good. And I'm sure you could get that with our friends over at Benny's Supermarket. I'm sure you could.
Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly.
Here in Opelousas. Everybody, I bet anybody got community coffee now. You can grab you some of those that come in. You can buy them either individually or a little box full of them.
And of course, they help us with our Christmas
Breakfast with Santa.
Breakfast with Santa every year. They set up a big display and serve coffee from the very beginning of the event till 9 o'clock when we shut it down.
Now you can drop a couple of those in your suitcase when you go to the hotels that have the coffee machines already there. You got your own flavor when you go to the hotel, man. That's and it don't spill in your suitcase, nice and neat. Got it all done, right?
I don't know. I wouldn't want that to bust loose and have coffee all over the place.
It would smell good.
We're overselling it. We're overselling
it. You see, your cologne smells good, so that's community cologne.
We want to thank another, and of course, something very close to my heart here, and that's Dupre Carrier Got Y'all Insurance Agency here in Opelousas, Louisiana, and several other offices. Also, I might add that we were invited out on Monday night, we meaning Noel Bunal with Imperial Fine Casualty, and myself. And let's see here. We had David Dozat and his wife Denny. We had Andrew Wagley and his wife Brittany. And we had Stephanie Johnson and her friend Jason Moran. And I had never met Jason prior to this, very nice young man. And when I asked him what business he was in, he's a wholesale furniture representative.
Excellent.
One of the, I guess, Carolina companies that, you know, a lot of the furniture is manufactured
in the
Carolinas. And I think that's what he said. But regardless, he works several states and the state of Louisiana. And I'm sure he does a good job because he just looks like a good salesman.
There you go.
And of course, Stephanie had made the phone call to invite us, another lady, you know, and then David grabbed the ticket, though. He wanted to pay the ticket. He wanted to put that on his expense account, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And I just called Jenny, by the way, and Jenny gave me, I gave Jenny some good reports on how you all treat us. We went to Cigars, which is the fine dining over at the Hilton in Sandestin. And you've been there. I guess anyone that's been there and been invited out to dinner, sometimes if they go a few times, one of the places you're going to eat dinner is at Cigars. The service is fantastic, and the pricing is about what it is in any fine dining place in a resort city. When you go there, bring your pocketbook and bring your good, fresh credit card.
And you got to speak Baton Rouge when you go there, because when you go to Destin, there's nobody from Destin. Everybody's from Baton Rouge that's in Destin.
LSU.
It's packed with local people. And I say local people, Baton Rouge especially, the city of Baton Rouge just seems to leave in the summertime.
I didn't go by to get to see the Lanyap restaurant there, which was owned by the Ortigos, and of course, Mr. Audrey Ortigo, the young man that started it, his father graduated with Cody and John in Grand Prairie. So
I think
he was one of them and went on to LSU and did well there. Then his son opened it, and he opened another one, but he sold out to one of the chains.
Really?
Yeah, but he kept the wholesale fish.
Which is how he got started. He was in the wholesale seafood and basically trucked stuff from Louisiana.
First name, but he's an Ortigo.
Louisiana to Florida all day long, every day of the week. They're constantly trucking seafood back and forth between the states.
Yeah, he sold to his competitors. I mean, that's how well known, and I guess the quality of the product he had.
And the way he got the restaurant, I think he'd go in and out, and you could see that the restaurant was a bird nest on the ground, as they say, and he just thought that the manager that had it wasn't doing a good job, so he bought the restaurant.
And Brother Cody and Wilda, my sister-in-law, they own a unit there.
A little condo right there.
But it's a standalone. There's only about 20 of them, and they're number 19, I think it is. They were first ones there. Today, there's about 550 units in that same compound.
Wow.
And you have to drive by in the front of his
to get to the restaurant.
Cafe Lagnac.
Got a nice slip right there that the big boats come in. The Moody Group, I know one of their boats is almost always sitting there in the summertime.
And talking about the Moody Group, one of our locals from the Lafayette area who had tried to get into a racetrack casino over in the Baton Rouge, New Orleans corridor there. I think maybe St. Charles Parish, St. John Parish, because I know J.E. got kind of involved and offered to help if he could, you know, talk to anybody back home. That didn't go through, but Billy Trotter has succeeded in opening a Margaritaville Casino over in Bossier City. So
excellent.
Next time I go there,
it's going to be a boat up there?
A boat, a concrete, what he says right here, we poured a concrete barge in place at his Bossier City location.
Excellent.
Billy Trotter, he just won't quit. Real nice, friendly, easy to talk to. We wish you well. We've got a few obituaries we want to make mention of. Miss Valentine, better known as Miss Teen Swallow, passed away, and she had 3 daughters and a son. One of the daughters is Connie Vasseur, and of course I know Connie and her husband Paul of Prairie Roan. My deepest sympathies to that family. And then Mr. Wilmer Donata died, and one of his children is Miss Sylvia Dortez. That's Coach Andrew Dortez. I still call him Coach. Sure. He was a coach way back yonder. Mr. Dortez was way up there, 93 years old, from Opelousas. Mr. Donata, Donata. My deepest sympathies on his recent death. And Gilbert, better known as Kirkpatrick III. And his daddy and I are the ones who got into that infamous race with our 55, my 55 Ford that Daddy had, and his 55 Chevy.
You know, kind of got in some trouble.
And we got into a whole bunch of trouble, but back in those days, the Dean Abel apologized to us for calling us in at 11 o'clock at night and asked us if a week of not bringing the cars would be a big detriment to our education. And of course, we said, no, sir, not at all.
We want to stay in school.
Today they'd be expelled. They would expel them. I mean, it was... things were handled differently then, and Daddy didn't say nothing except I didn't get the car that week, just like the letter they sent home to Mom and Daddy. I was just asking Mom, when she told me, she had tears in her eyes, and I told her, I said, I asked her, I said, what about Daddy? She said, oh, he's not going to say nothing. She said, he's okay with that.
Mama got it under control.
Mama had it under control.
If it was bad, Mama would have called Daddy, and she'd have turned his ear and said, you got to get on that door.
And that was back at SLI. We were freshmen in dorm C, and Mom Peterson was our dorm mother, and she wrote a beautiful, she was a college graduate herself, and she was doing that, I guess, to supplement whatever little retirement funds you got back in those days. And she wrote a beautiful letter stating that I had been enticed to race and that I was a good student and I was good.
She was helping you out.
She made it look like they had to give me a car after that instead of fussing at me. But that's how things were back in those days. Anyhow, Kirk, I know your mama Sue, and I knew your daddy, of course, and our deepest sympathies to that family. Mr. Dave Petitjean.
Dave Petitjean.
The Cajun jokester. Joke-telling contest.
Played Uncle Sos, I think, in the Big Easy with the Quaid boys. That was the kind of the...
Yeah, he was
big career.
He was a member of the Actors Guild.
Sure.
He appeared in a few movies. Things I wasn't familiar. Of course, he won the International Joke-Telling Contest that was held here for many, many years. And those fellas, every one of them that I know of, men and women that won, went on and did it either full-time or part-time.
And he used to like to say he liked
Murray Conk is the perfect example. But still is. Good morning, Murray. Come on, Savala. He's always dressed a different kind of way and all of that.
He used to say that he loved to use large words, and he liked to use big words to impress people. Words like watermelon, He says, you know, that's a big word.
It's a big word. Oh, boy. Yeah, and I think that takes care of our obituaries.
But Tony Soprano passed away, the actor that played that, so that's another guy that I know a lot of people watch on TV.
Oh, he was very popular.
Yeah, and it's amazing that the directors and all the other actors were really, you know, it's neat for us to watch, but all the people that worked in the
What was
industry
his uncle? The little skinny
Uncle
old man?
Junior.
Uncle Junior. He was always in
trouble and causing everybody trouble, and he thought he was the boss, and Tony was the real boss underneath. And
oh, it was funny. But anyhow, what else do we need to cover? We have anything that we overlooking?
I think we're in pretty good shape.
Pretty good shape.
The 4th of July coming up. Want to remind everybody, you know, Independence Day. We'll actually be broadcast on Independence Day, but with all this weekend, everybody will be doing things for Independence Day this weekend as well. Remember all your liberties. If you get a chance to go, they're having the Fortnight of Freedom over at Our Lady Queen of Angels, 6 p.m. each night in the church hall. They're doing a Pledge of Allegiance. They're saying a few prayers to pray for our religious freedom and singing God Bless America at the end each night at 6 p.m. at Queen through 4th of July.
I think it's Percy Sledge will be
he won't be singing there, though.
At Evangeline Downs on the 5th.
Oh, he will? Really?
Yes, Evangeline Downs. I think it's the 5th, and I think it's Evangeline Downs. Watch me find it as soon as the program is finished in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Louisiana is honoring Louisiana's veterans with the Louisiana Military Hall of Fame and Museum. And that's in Abbeville, Louisiana, and that's at the front of our Integrity Supply office over in right near the airport. This museum is set up on airport in conjunction with the airport in Abbeville. And you know, I have not gone there, but I will make it a point. And two of our good longtime friends that we met years ago and they're always working for the benefit of veterans. And I'm speaking of Brigadier General Robert LeBlanc, Mr. Bob LeBlanc, and Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Raymond, and I'm always talking about Mr. Johnny, Buck and Johnny's Pizzeria in downtown Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. Those two men have dedicated their last 10, 15 years. They dedicated their lives during the Second World War. But then since then, they have never forgotten other veterans that didn't get the opportunities they had. And first time we met them, they were working on getting the Medal of Honor
for Lieutenant Father Verbus LaFleur. And still working on that project. And Percy Sledge is on July the 5th at 8 p.m. at Evangeline Downs, and the cost is only $10. How can you go wrong? That's next Friday.
Our closing prayer: love all God's creation, the whole and every grain of sand of it. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light. Love the animals, love the plants, love everything. And we'll close it by saying, and you will come at last to love the whole world with an all-embracing love. This weekend, as every weekend, we ask you to consider attending the church of your choice. And this being a weekend prior to a big holiday, the fun will start Friday night. And I want to thank you, Andrew, and we want to thank you for viewing the program. Tell a friend.